What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. This video I want to discuss if PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 will be announced when Sony fully unveils the PS5. So this is an interesting one, and this is something that, funny enough, or you could maybe poke at me and say, like, you could make this kind of prediction, you can make this kind of video, you can make this kind of discussion for a lot of Sony exclusive games regarding the PS5 reveal. Again, at least at the time that when this video is recorded, okay, maybe not when it goes up, but when this is recorded, we don't fully know what Sony's doing in regards to, not like they have no clue, but we are not aware of what they're doing for the PS5 reveal. I still assume something in February, maybe something in March will end up happening where they have their own show. Again, maybe that's confirmed or maybe that's happening by the time you guys see this video. Even better if it is. I feel like at that show, wherever that is, and I feel like there is going to be one. If it's not in February, whatever, if it's not in March, but I feel like at some point before E3, they're going to have their own thing talking about the PS5. We'll probably see it. I don't know if we would get a price or release date. You'd probably save those for E3, but we would get some specs. We'd get, some games being worked on, and that's the biggest part, that last part. And that's the part that I think a lot of people obviously would sign up to watch it and would discuss about it afterwards, is the games, is what games are they making for it. It's highly important, and Sony is a company that I've praised for years, and still do, for their first-party games, okay? They know, and they also, to their credit as well, they know that that's their strength. They know that that is what makes them unique. That's what makes them, maybe like in their eyes or to consumers, like better than the alternative, what you could buy, right? So that is their strength, and that is definitely going to be leaned on in terms of the PS5. And what do you do with that? Well, you have to, when you first announce the PS5, you have to also say, hey, we got a bunch of these games in development. Maybe you say some games that are going to be released around launch time, right? Or maybe this is like a launch day game for us. And maybe you have one or two exclusives like that. But you also need to have examples of games that are being worked on, maybe that previously were in the shadows. And then you say, hey, we've had all these games that are being worked on for the PS5, and you're going to have that for first-party games, like exclusives, and you're going to have that for third- or second-party games that are not exclusives. You're going to have all the different kinds. When it comes to this game, obviously, the title, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, we're assuming that this game is in development, and that's a big question. That's a big if. Rumors suggest that it is, and if it's not, cool. I guess we all got our hopes up for nothing, but I think... And that's a different video, so I don't necessarily want to get into that. But at the same time, I think it's a game with a ton of potential. I think it's a game that if you keep going, it's going to eventually reward you. I think the first one, severely, one of the most underrated games, I think, of all time, definitely of the PS3 generation, one of them at least. But I think that the odds are somewhat high that a second one is happening. So again, I guess to follow me along, we're assuming that the game is real, okay? Do you announce it when you announce the PS5? I think you do. I honestly feel like you do. I feel like it's one of those games that you need different genres, you need different groups of games that different people can kind of see and say, oh, I like this one versus that one. You're not going to capture everybody's enthusiasm with one game. If like a big game is, say, Killzone, a brand new Killzone game, like that's a launch day exclusive or whatever. But if you show Killzone, like, yeah, people are going to be excited. I'm going to be excited because I do like Killzone quite a bit. I like Guerrilla Games. I'm sure they're going to do a good job. All those kind of things. But that's only one group of people. If you're not a shooter fan, if you're somebody who likes All-Stars Battle Royale, right, that's a very different game than a shooter. So you're going to need maybe a fighting game. Maybe you have like a Tekken or a Marvel versus Cap, like something like that. Maybe you have some of those kind of games, and maybe that game is All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Again, I think what strengthens the argument is the fact that it would be exclusive, okay? It would be for just PlayStation. It would be just for PlayStation 5. And you need those games, okay? You can't have the PS5 coming out with nothing coming out at launch, and I'm not saying it's going to come out at launch, but besides that too, at launch, but then that first year, very, very important as well. Again, I'm going off of the rumors that this game does exist, and so if it does exist, and if it has been worked on for the past couple of years, you got to think it's getting closer to completion, so you got to think, or you got to hope at least, that this could be a first 2 years of PS5 game, and so it kind of falls in line with Spider-Man 2, God of War 2, all these kind of games. And again, like, is it as big as them? No, not necessarily, but it's a different kind of game. You need to build a portfolio, and that's the word I was missing earlier. You need to build a portfolio of different kinds of games for different people in general that are going to buy your console. You expect a lot of people to buy your console, and so you need to diversify, have as many things for as many people as you possibly can. And this is a game that's in your back pocket. You always will have that IP. The first one, people loved. You do. People loved it. You know that, yeah, it had some problems. Yeah, it could have been better overall. I think a lot of things could have been added to it, but you take all those things and you learn from it and you say, okay, well, let's put the resources in and let's do a second one. I do not think the first one cost them all that much. I get that they shut the studio down, but at the same time, the studio was made specifically for that game. So I guess if they didn't have plans or if it was maybe disappointing, I get it. It didn't sell all that well, but I doubt I'm going to assume they didn't lose money on All-Stars 1. Maybe they broke even and that's it, but I don't think they catastrophically lost a ton of money in making that game. So what does that mean? That means that, okay, it had some problems, but there was some sort of life to it, and there was something there, and maybe we can bring it back in the future, right? Let's skip a console generation. We're going to get more PlayStation heroes, you could say, that are going to be added, right? We could add Joel, we could add Ellie, we could add Spider-Man, we could add Aloy, we can add newer Kratos, we can add Atreus, all of these different people, and many, many, many more that I'm not even saying. We can add them all, and we can just make a better overall game in general. I love the mechanics of All-Stars. Again, I love the game. I'd say if you just gave us an All-Stars 2 with a better roster and more maps and slightly tweaked fighting mechanics, it would be an amazing game on its own, okay? And that's not if they take a serious step up with everything. So I would take just about anything for it, honestly. But I think it's very, very possible. And could it be with the PS5 reveal? I really do think it's possible. It could be anytime, okay? It could be after that. It could be at E3. It could be maybe do a PlayStation experience in December to announce like the first full year of PlayStation 5 in 2021. It doesn't have to be when they announce the PS5, but it's definitely, again, it's there. It's in their back pocket. You need different kinds of games to show, hey, we're thinking about you when making this console. And so we have this game, we have like 7 different games, but they're all different, right? They're not all first-person shooters. They're not all third-person action-adventure games. They're all different kinds of games. Again, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like, here's everything about it, here's the release date, here's all that. But like, hey, remember that game came out for PS3? People really, really enjoyed it. But then, sadly, like we couldn't continue it. Well, we never truly forgot about that game, and we also never forgot about you, the players that played that game. That's something very, very easy you can say to sell it. Like, yeah, it maybe didn't do all that amazing, but we never forgot it. We never forgot about its potential, and we never forgot about its kind of market with the players or the group of players that are playing it. We never forgot about you, and so we're bringing it back. And I think that's a fantastic idea. I think that's something that you got to imagine they've at least thought of it, even if the game is not real at all. Even if this entire video is for nothing, 5 years down the line they tell us, no, there was never anything about it. You've got to know that they have thought about it at least. You don't, for a mega corporation, and even though, the gaming side maybe is slightly smaller and it's inside that mega corporation, there's people thinking about it. There's people looking routinely and saying, hey, does Sly Cooper have a place in the world now? Hey, does All-Stars have a place? And all of these things. Somebody once said that for Medieval, right? Hey, does this game have a place anymore? Let's just get a small team, 20, 30 people, development studio. Let's just get them. Let's just contract them out. They have nothing to do with us, but let's just have, does Medieval still sell? Do people still want it? So people are constantly, so don't think that could happen and they have never once thought of all. That would be an insult if they did that, but they've never once thought about All-Stars 2. Okay, so I guarantee you that has happened. The question obviously is the game in development? When could it be announced? All those kind of things. But guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Could it be announced with the PS5 in its full announcement? Whether it be an event, few weeks, few months down the line. Do you think the game is real? But also, do you think it could be announced with the PS5? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel podcast. Now hit that bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. We've made a couple different All-Stars videos. You guys tend to like them, so make sure, again, if you do like them, you are liking this video, sharing it, commenting, all of that stuff, and I will continue to make them. Suggestions as well. If you guys want me to talk about something specific with All-Stars, I can totally do that as well, okay? So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.